Hello, I am so excited to chat with everyone today. A little bit about productivity. It's based on this read-write article that I wrote called, let's see, there it is, Productivity at Work. It is possible. Definitely check out the article. Focused on different tips and tricks I've kind of learned along the way from myself and pulled from different people I've worked with, and put them together in this one post for people to take a look at. So the biggest thing for me on productivity is that we kind of live in this always on connected world right now. And, we have these open office spaces where it's easy to get distracted. There's all kinds of tools that can help with productivity. And it's kind of like, where do I start? For me, kind of taking on this new role at Cloud App has added to the complexity of my inbox at work. It's added to a little bit more on prioritization of what I need to get done that's really being effective and driving our business, managing a team and how they're kind of focusing their energies on things that can be valuable for us. So it's definitely brought up a lot of need for finding ways to be productive and using the best use of my time. So one of the biggest things for me, and I've added these tips in this blog post, is to create a to-do list to improve productivity at work. So nothing new there. It's a pretty common thing where people will give a tip to write your to-do list and kind of review that each day. And there's a real power to checking things off of your to-do list. It's, kind of proven psychologically and mentally to give you a little bit of a dopamine hit and help you to kind of push forward on other things. So there's a real value in not just doing a task, but writing it down and checking it off. With kind of the same vein is starting with the tough tasks first. So, in kind of going back to when I was in school, even, K through 12, I always tried to do my hard work early. I was never like, this massive project is due tomorrow. I need to start doing it. I was always kind of like, this project's due a month from now. Well, I'm going to kind of do little bits and pieces of this big rock task and get that completed. Big rock is from Stephen Covey, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And it's basically like, if you look at a jar and you fill it up with big rocks first, then you'll be able to put in the little pebbles and also sand and still have space, versus if you filled up a bucket with sand first, there'd be no space for anything else. So doing those big rocks first has been effective for me to kind of get those big projects done. And then I can delay kind of doing some of the smaller tasks and the whirlwind stuff that kind of comes up. One thing I talked about last week is not being afraid to say no or not yet. I think that's a skill you kind of learn along the way. I remember when I kind of first started working at Adobe, I definitely said yes to everything, and that helped me to build relationships and rapport. So I think there's space when you're kind of establishing your credibility with your career to say yes to a lot of things, but you also need to be able to know how to say no and build that skill. Scott Smith, CEO of Cloud App, said that, not everything needs to be fulfilled by the CEO or fulfilled by you. You can try and delegate or delay a project and say, you know what, this is really important to us right now. Let's focus on something else until we have time for that. The next idea is the Pareto principle, which is the 80-20 rule. So 80% of the results probably come from 20% of the work. So find out really where the results are coming from and really make sure you're focusing your time there first. And then what I liked at Adobe, and also this is a Google thing as well, is creating that 10 to 25% of your time focused on a new creative venture. So looking for opportunities, kind of like what is a project I want to work on that will have some value 6 months to a year from now and could turn into something. When I was at Adobe, I ran this program called the Social Swarm, which was not a part of my job. But what I did is I brought in people from sales, product, marketing, comms, and we kind of brainstormed new ideas for a marketing campaign. And that way it was kind of like different viewpoints. As a matrixed organization, it kind of benefited something else I was working on. And it was a lot of fun to do as well. The next thing is to automate when possible. As an analyst at heart, I would always try and find things I could automate in Excel or SQL and eliminate, mundane tasks that I was doing. So sometimes you can find tools out there that can automate things for you and just make things a little better. One thing I've been using recently is Superhuman, and it's an email kind of program, and it helps with my kind of cranking through my email and making sure I'm being efficient with it. I can remind myself, when to respond to people, and it kind of eliminates a lot of the energy I was spending on email. So I've been grateful for that. Definitely give yourself breaks. When I was at Adobe, I had that beautiful campus, and so I'd go work out kind of during the day. Here at Cloud App, we have a smaller office, so I'll get up every now and again and go walk outside or just take a little break and get away from my desk. You'll find that little times that you are mindful will really give you that opportunity to improve yourself, be creative, and learn and grow. There's also this technique called the Pomodoro technique, and I actually haven't tried this, but I know a lot of people who have. And it says you basically set a timer for 25 minutes. You work for 25 minutes and then take a 5-minute break when the timer goes off, and add a check mark to a piece of paper. Once you have about 4 check marks, you shift your break to 15 to 20 minutes. It allows you to focus really directly on something, get it done, and not be distracted with Slack or email or text messages or whatever. So that's something that's kind of interesting that you can research or look into to see if it works for you. And lastly, one more thing after this, but really get enough rest and try and avoid distractions. I had the opportunity to interview Nir for the podcast, DNA of an Experience. And Nir talked a lot about avoiding distraction and time blocking out your calendar and having really focused efforts on certain things. So check out his book, Indistractable, if that's something that interests you. He's also on episode 1 of this podcast that I interviewed him on. And getting enough rest. So, take the TV out of your bedroom, put your phone down, give your eyes a break from that blue screen, and make sure your brain is kind of getting enough sleep at night and able to kind of focus in the morning. And really, I touched on this a little bit, but finding technologies that can really help you. So I mentioned Superhuman. Cloud App is definitely one of those productivity tools. If you search productivity apps, you'll see a blog post we did right at the top of organic search for Google, and it shows 9 productivity apps that we recommend. So looking for apps that really fit what you need and do, and trying to find ways to integrate those into yourself and your business. And really, it comes down to you. There's millions of techniques to be more productive and find success with that during the day. But you really have to find out what is going to help you be successful, what's going to work for you, and then always be willing, to pass that on to other people. I think there's a real power in helping other people be productive, and that can really benefit yourself and how you feel about your own productivity. So take a look at this blog post that I wrote for ReadWrite. It's called, if you search Joe Martin ReadWrite productivity at work, it is possible. You should be able to find it. And hopefully some of these techniques will help you, and also check out some of the apps I mentioned that can help kind of integrate into your business. Have a great day, and we'll talk again soon. Thank you.